Catch up to me. There we go. Can you believe
I can't believe
it's already season 2?
I know this is weird. Like, I didn't think. I figure we get canceled after season 1.
What, from like cancel culture or?
Just from the general populace.
It's really weird because like last season, that actually, during the summertime, people were actually looking for us.
Yeah, which was
crazy.
strange.
But you know who else they look for while they're out there?
Periwinkle.
Okay. There's Periwinkle.
Yeah.
And then there's also
Chester.
Okay, and Chester.
Yeah.
And then
Lucinda.
Lucinda.
Yeah.
Okay. And who else?
That's all I can think of off the top of my
Oh
head.
my God, you're an asshole.
I know, right?
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
I'm Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we are the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
And we're actually joined by one of those famous characters that people look for at the Colorado Renaissance Festival. Maybe you recognize him.
He looks familiar. I've seen him around somewhere.
The shirt kind of gives it away.
Oh, the Link guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize that he didn't have the hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the potato.
The potato. Yeah, threw me off.
Yeah. So, this is our very first episode for this season, second season.
I know.
And it is our pleasure to welcome our friend Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
He is a one-man fantasy ensemble.
He does so much.
So much. Not just playing the ocarina, but also all of the different roles that he takes on as part of different festivals. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But first, before we do that, we want to go into our unofficial sponsor for today.
I feel like there's a shameless plug coming.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
look at that.
our sponsor is the Hero of Mine.
Our
I
sponsor
know
is
him.
the Hero of Mine.
See, that's who. Yeah, that's who I thought we were having on the show.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the same guy.
I don't think so.
Oh, my God. Look.
I don't think so.
Look, hold on. Mark,
Yes.
do me a favor. Go like this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see, there it is.
Dude,
right
that
there.
is him.
See?
That is so crazy.
At any rate, oh my
We're
God,
stupid.
you are so horrible.
I know.
So, Hero of Mime, you can follow him up on Instagram, and there is a really good opportunity. If you like music, there's a great opportunity for you to listen in on that. But I'm gonna let him tell the tale about that.
Sure. I recently, and by recently, I mean within the last 9 months or so, finished my very first album of ocarina music. And so it's here at the link on the screen,
I see what you did there.
heroofmime.com/album/The Sounds of Hyrule. If you also Google The Sounds of Hyrule, Hero of Mime, you can find it pretty easily on Bandcamp, but the link is right there in my bio if you'd like it. It's all ocarina music from the Legend of Zelda games. It's got music from Twilight Princess, from Ocarina of Time, from Wind Waker, from Tears of the Kingdom even, a whole bunch of stuff backed by other instruments.
Now, we were just having a conversation earlier about actually having the rights to distribute. That's been a big thing lately with a lot of different performers, like Taylor Davis, who got demonetized for performing a lot of anime themed songs. But you don't have that to worry about, do you?
No, not on this particular piece. I made sure to purchase the license for all the work. It's all officially licensed, so feel free to pick it up and listen and know that there's no copyright laws being violated here.
What kind of process was that?
It's pretty easy, actually. The statutes that allow for sound protection and copyright have a provision that allows really anyone to purchase the rights to make covers of the same music.
Oh, okay.
And that's how many musicians across the entire world can make covers of all sorts of other songs without getting in trouble.
We need to look into this so
We're
we
gonna
don't
be
get
big.
sued for Hoist the Colors, dude.
Yeah, dude, we're totally getting sued for
Voice
that
the
one.
Colors is a public domain song. You're fine.
Is it really?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes! We're good.
Score. But check him out
It's
because
like from the 1800s.
was it?
Yeah.
I thought that was an original piece. That
Just
was
the words.
just the words. Yeah, so I can get in trouble for the words. We need to look into that.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, but check it out. You can. I'm going to scroll through the Instagram
Sure.
here. Here's the
So that's
the
my album
chicken. Yeah,
cover. Is
right there.
that first photo? The second photo is me performing as my merman character,
And then
and that third photo is me and Primrose the Fairy at the Colorado Festival this season.
I love both of those people in that photo.
Yeah.
They're so awesome. And dude, some of these shots that you have here are just freaking amazing.
Thank you.
And there's your fairy character. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that. Who's this gentleman?
That's also Link.
Is
but
it?
That's a different outfit from the Tears of the Kingdom.
That's awesome.
That's hot.
Thank you.
Particularly because you're on a horse while you're doing that.
The horse photos were pretty cool. If you scroll further, there's a few more horse photos.
I got to
around.
see the horse photos.
Totally.
I like horses. But I like that. It's very Icarus. Reminds me of Icarus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a beautiful horse. Look at that. And look, there's other festivals too.
Indeed.
We'll talk about that in a couple of seconds. Oh, look, here's one that I want to actually bring up. We're going to bring that up. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to it.
Okay.
All right. So first off, let's talk about the festivals that you've worked at.
Sure.
I met you at Colorado Renaissance Festival, along with this knucklehead.
Yeah.
But you've been doing this for quite a while. You've done Colorado, St. Louis, and Michigan.
Right.
Any other performances that you've done in the past?
I have worked for quite a few festivals over the years.
Okay.
But the three you just listed are the regular ones that I still do year after year. This year I worked for the Oklahoma Renaissance Festival for the first time. I'm hopeful they will have me back. I had a very good time this year. I've worked for the Scarborough Renaissance Festival. I've worked for the Texas Renaissance Festival. I've worked for the Kansas City Fair.
Did you ever do Arizona?
No, I've never worked Arizona.
Okay.
I've done Kansas City. I've done the Bay Area Festival down in Tampa. I've done the Heartlands Renaissance Festival. They're a new fair this year. I did the Texas Medieval Merriment Fair. I did the Central Indiana Fairy Festival.
This guy gets around.
And
I see that.
I've done the Santa Fe Renaissance Festival, which I'm sure you guys have talked about
Oh,
on
yeah.
the program before.
Yep, we're getting geared up for that one this year. Are you going to come out there?
No, I won't be there.
Okay.
Aw. And I think that's it. That may be all of them. I probably am forgetting one or two.
So
It's
I
okay.
guess the big question is the one I always ask people because I find it rather interesting is what got you into doing Renaissance festivals?
Sure. It's a fair question. I get asked this a lot, actually. So when I when I was in college, I was looking for acting work. I was really interested in film and in live theater, and so I just started auditioning for things, and the first role I landed was role as cast at the Colorado Renaissance Festival.
What was that character?
Yeah.
His name was Ernest Hemingway Shakespeare. He is William Shakespeare's less impressive younger brother.
I love it. Okay.
He wrote plays famous like Spamlet and A Midwinter's Nightmare and other such duds which no one will remember.
Right. Okay. And whose idea was this?
Oh, it was mine.
It was your. Okay.
Yeah.
That's entirely too funny, man. I mean, like when you consider the current roles that you play, that's kind of a like bar left field. If you would have asked me, like, take a guess, what do you think Mark did? Like Mark's first character, I'd have been like, I don't know, Page Boy. I don't know. Like that is so far out there. It's. But knowing you, it makes a lot of sense. An intellectual man that does. You're well read. I mean, you and I have talked a couple of times about like different things on literature. So, it makes a lot of sense. But to come up with the parodies of those plays is even funnier.
It was a good time. I didn't continue being Shakespeare. I moved on to other stuff. But that first role was kind of what got me into the Ren Fair scene. Okay. I came back to Colorado a couple of years later and joined as a musician for the first time. And then the same year, I also landed a role at Scarborough. And so that is what doing two fairs at the same time caused me to realize, oh, this is not only fun, but it's a viable career path that
Sure.
people do, and it's something I'm interested in. And so I started doing more and more and more, and here we are.
And so how did Link come about? I mean, did you just wake up one morning and go, I'm going to be Link and play the ocarina and travel the country? It
Sure.
just seems, I don't want to say kind of like out of left field, but not some. I mean, you see Links, at different fairs, and
I like to say it's because of him. That's why you
I
see him at Colorado.
I think so too. But just how did that come to fruition?
That's a good question. So when I was coming back to be a musician at the Colorado Festival, I told Eric, I want to come back this year. What space do you have? And it was after auditions by about a good month or so. Like,
Okay.
I was very late. And he said, I have space for one musician. Do you play an instrument? I'm one of the only people on the planet who knew how to play the ocarina and was not a Zelda fan. I was not really that into Zelda.
Really?
I had
So-
played some of the games, but I just knew how to play the ocarina.
How the hell did you come across the ocarina then?
My friend played it, and I
Oh.
thought it was cool, so I learned it.
I mean, it is cool. It's got a very cool sound.
Yeah.
I mean, I love walking by and listening to you play, but it's just like at first I'm like, what is that? I didn't get it because
It's a potato.
Yeah, it's a potato. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's a potato
okay.
with holes in it. So I was not well versed in Zelda. I knew some Zelda stuff, and I played a couple of the games, but I wasn't like into Zelda. But I knew how to play the ocarina,
Right.
so I told Eric, I can play an instrument. I'll be there. And so
Didn't try to take the singing route, huh?
no, I didn't, because in years past I had tried to audition as a singer when I auditioned as Shakespeare, and at that time the festival didn't take solo singers as a
Really?
role. That was not a thing. They changed that. I don't know when they changed that. That has changed over the years.
Right.
Obviously, we have several solo singers who are all excellent performers.
Yeah,
and I'm happy
absolutely.
to have them. But no, when I first auditioned, that was a no-go. So that's why I told him I played ocarina, and I did. When I arrived at the festival, I talked to Eric about what my role was going to be, because I
Right.
didn't actually have a character in mind. And I had cosplayed Link before, and so I told Eric, I said, all right, listen, hear me out. It would be way better for me to wear something that looks like Link. It doesn't have to be Link officially, but something that looks like that, and play the ocarina. Like, patrons will enjoy that
Right.
more.
They'll understand it. Yeah.
And so I said, that is what I want to do, and he okayed it. And so thus Link was born, and that is how the Hero of Mine became my act. I started from that day building it piece by piece until it became really my whole career.
Yeah, no, I mean, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
I mean, everything. I'm not a big Zelda fan, but I know you, and I know
He's a sports nerd.
the time. Yeah, I'm not Zelda. I played Zelda when it originally came out on Nintendo, so that's as far back as I go. And then it ended at right after that. But so you don't speak
No.
as Link. Now, what's the reasoning behind that?
So in most of the games, Link does not talk. It's in almost all of them, and that's a combination of reasons. Out of world, the real reason is because the creators have said that they want Link to be accessible to everyone,
Yep.
and so by not giving him a voice, you could picture yourself being Link and saying the things that he says in the text boxes.
Oh, okay.
However, that evolved over time, as things are wont to do, and in the most recent games, in Breath of the Wild, Link doesn't speak, and Zelda actually has a journal, and in the journal she talks about Link not speaking. And so in that game, at least, they made it canon that Link actively does not speak, and he chooses not to. And so I took that piece of Link, I thought that was interesting, and I also said it would be so much more interesting to be a character that does not speak at the festival. That just adds a piece of flavor to
It does.
the random musician you see
Yeah,
in the
no,
lanes.
absolutely.
That is, honestly, I feel that is a piece that took my person from being just, oh, there's a guy dressed as Link, to this is Link at
Yeah.
the festival.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think the other thing is because even as a character that does not speak, and there's only two of them that don't actually speak on cast. And I'm not trying to disparage Primrose, but she's not officially part of the the Colorado Renaissance Festival cast.
Right.
You and Periwinkle. Those are the two characters that don't have a voice, but you still have ample interaction with people, even though you're not saying any words. So it is cool that you use ASL to communicate, and you're one of the only acts out there that does bring that inclusivity to our non-verbal
That's a good word.
customers.
That's a good word.
What's that? Which one?
Inclusivity.
Inclusivity.
That was long, too.
I've been practicing that one.
Dude, that was good.
Yeah.
I really think it's important to have entertainment at run fairs that is accessible to folks who are deaf or mute or otherwise non-speaking for some reason. And not all of them know ASL, but many of them do. And many of them will not get to hear the ocarina. Many of them will not get to hear many of the things that happen at the fair. And so just being able to be the one character that maybe I meet someone who I get to talk to and have a unique conversation that day, that's special. That brought magic to their day at least once. And that's all I really have set my mind out to do, is I want to bring magic to everyone's day, even if it's just a little bit. And that, in addition to making me interactive, I think the use of ASL has really helped with that piece, and it just expand the inclusivity, even if it only is just a little bit.
I would have to agree with your assessment. The cool thing about that is it does give that diversity. One of the things that I have endeavored to, and I'm still trying to do, is I've decided to take on learning Chinese, like Mandarin, simply because, well, the character is there. And I've had a couple of people call me out on it, like, dude, do you speak Chinese?
Yeah.
I'm like, a little bit, but I understand better than I speak. But I want to kind of bring that same thing where it's like, oh, cool, there's a family from China. I ran into 3 of them this last weekend.
Right.
3 full families that were from China, and they kind of looked at me like I was weird, especially when I opened my mouth. And they were just like, oh. All right, well, you know, the costume's cool. And I could hear them, like, again, I understand better than I speak. And I was like, oh, they're talking shit about me. That's okay. I'm here to do what I do, and it's all right. But I have had some positive interactions. Like, one family was like, oh, it's great to see your character. But getting back to what you were talking about, even though they can't hear it, I know that, like, I have some friends that they have children that are non-speaking, and they associate the character of Link with the ocarina like that, and so even though they don't hear it, they see you doing what you're doing, and that it's immediately recognizable to them because they're still playing video games.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. One of my favorite moments, one of my favorite festival memories I've ever had is I was performing at the Scarborough Renaissance Festival as my merman character, and a group of deaf women came through the lagoon, and the Mermaid Lagoon at Scarborough is sort of an interactive, you go talk with each mermaid, and these women didn't have a ton of ability to interact, and we're just kind of walking through. And so when she came around the corner, I was excited, and as usual I said hello. I don't normally sign when I'm by merman, I normally just speak, and then I saw them signing, and I said, oh, are you deaf? And she was like, yes. And so then we started talking, and it was one of the most magical moments I've ever had in my career. Being able to speak with all 3 of those women and just be able to be a magical character.
You left an impact. Yeah,
that's was really special.
Keith and I talk about that all the time, where we're goofy, we're silly. We on the show we're there while we're in the lanes. We're kind of like up here with the goofiness that we do, but all we're trying to do is just and most of the performers that we work with will agree that we're just trying to make one moment and have somebody feel something.
Yep.
It's all about leaving the people with an impression.
Right.
Yeah. Hopefully a good one.
They go home that night or the next day and they go, wow, those 2 guys were I can't believe they did this or that, or they were really nice.
They're still talking.
Yeah.
They're still talking. I'm just saying,
it's
man.
great.
They're still talking about hoist the colors. It's so you gave us the long list of festivals. How long have you actually been doing performances for festivals and whatnot?
So that first year at Colorado was 10 years ago. It was 2014.
Oh, wow.
So I've been doing this mostly on, but a little bit off for about 10 years.
Wow.
I've been on the road for, I believe, 5 years now.
Okay. So that is like your mainstay employment is traveling.
Yes.
Circuit.
Yes, it has been for a while.
That's where we need to be.
That's where we need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got room in the car?
No,
Oh. You got room on top?
I guess.
Sweet.
I can strap
You gotta
him
run.
down. I've got bungees.
Yeah. It's a rough ride, but it's a good life. And I will say that eventually I also started doing other work during the week.
Okay.
I don't like to say to subsidize it because I actually make more money during the week than I do at fair, but I sort of started dual career paths, and
cool.
now I just do them both at the same time.
That's neat.
So
But I still do Ren fairs
Yeah.
about half the year,
Okay.
and I lived off that income for some time.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, so what is your like home base?
I live in Dallas, Texas.
In Dallas. Okay.
Yeah.
For now.
For now.
We're trying to get him back to Colorado.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Hey, we can hope. Don't dash my
he's not
hopes,
in Dallas,
man. Yeah, I
Texas
know.
during the summer. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was just down in Austin this last weekend, and that was miserable.
Miserable.
Working in Colorado every summer is a huge benefit.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because you get away from that sweltering heat wave down there. I remember when I lived down in the 90s. Oh, God, yeah. In the 90s, I lived down there in Texas, Central Texas area, and they were having issues in Dallas where people were suffering from heat stroke.
Oh, yeah.
because they couldn't pay their power bill because they had cranked up the price of it. And
Yeah.
So that's why you don't. Arizona's another one that you don't freaking go there in the summertime.
No.
120 on average. You can
Ugh,
kiss
so
my ass. I'm not going down
Gross.
there. Yeah.
Just rude.
Rude. So we've talked about Link.
We have. We've briefly
we-
talked about a merman.
We talked about a merman, and I love the name. The name is just
Yeah, can you say it?
Kailohan.
Oh, pretty good. Yeah.
I heard you say it one time, so I'm generally pretty good. I want to hear him say it.
Kai.
Yeah.
We work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of like etymology and knowing the root of words. So I actually, we were talking about this before, and it's Kai is. Do you remember?
No.
Okay, fire.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Loch is like Gaelic for
Gallic.
Gaelic.
Important distinction.
Sorry, Gaelic for
Yeah.
like Loch Ness, dude. Come on,
Yeah, that's
come on,
what I
work
said.
with me here.
Dude,
Work with me.
I
Oh
was
my
right there
God,
with
you're
you.
so brain dead. Lake.
Yeah.
And so it's fire in the lake.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate you. And then you also do a fairy, which
do.
is Thistle.
Yes.
Why does everybody else do fairy? I don't have a fairy
I don't
character.
know. I do a fairy.
Yeah, I know you do. I don't have a fairy character.
Now, where do you do Thistle at?
So I haven't done Thistle in several years. I created him. You can pull up a picture if
Okay.
you like.
Yeah, give me a second.
I created Thistle because
see.
the St. Louis Fair.
Oh, there he is. I got him.
That's him right there.
I got him. We're gonna
The
go
St. Louis Renaissance
back to that.
Festival needed a ferry.
Okay.
The ferry they had performing there was going to be gone for part of their season. And so they said, we'd like you to be Link for part of the season, but we want you to fill in as the fairy for the rest of the season. So we need a fairy character. And I said, all right, I got you. And so I created Thistle from there. So Thistle's a river fairy. And,
Okay.
He's also all my characters tend to aim Scottish a little bit. I love Scotland and I lived there, and so I took a lot of Scottish inspiration, and so for Thistle I took the Thistle because I thought it was both a good name and also just a little bit reminiscent of Scotland.
Sure.
Okay. How did we end up in Scotland?
Oh, I lived there for school. I studied abroad for like 4 months.
Oh, okay.
And so
All right.
when I was
and you actually came back from Scotland.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. 'Cause
Sadly, yeah.
I wouldn't come back. I'd be like, yeah, I'm coming back.
I stopped in Ireland and I didn't want to.
You see, that'd be
back.
another one.
Like-
I wouldn't come back.
I stopped off in Shannon, Ireland, and I bought a. That's the first time I had mead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bought Scottish. I bought Irish honey mead
Yeah.
at the duty free shop,
Yeah. So yeah,
and I drank it on the flight on the way back
Yeah,
to Bangor, Maine.
I wouldn't come back.
To answer your question, Keith, I have not done Thistle since St. Louis wanted him. He was supposed to perform at the Heartlands Festival this year, and it was so windy that I told the festival management, I said, first of all, realistically, a ferry would not be here, but also practically my wings will get destroyed
Right.
if I perform here. So I
Right,
did
right.
not end up doing Thistle at all at this season, even
You know
though
what?
I was supposed to.
I've always thought this, and this is just kind of an errant thought for me, but you see ferries, dressed up, and they have their wings.
Yeah.
They're fully spread.
Yeah.
Why doesn't somebody make, wings that are at a resting position?
There are some of those out there. I've seen them.
I have not.
Yeah.
But
So my wings are very posable, and so I put them at a resting position sometimes just for a different look.
yeah, I just think that would be neat because,
Yeah.
then you're not like I don't know. It's good.
I think because you fall into like it's the industry standard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the fairy wings, everybody has them all spread out.
yeah.
You
It's kind of like the people with the big feathered wings that like take up like an entire.
Yeah.
Right.
I like to walk next to them when I'm carrying my sword.
Right.
Oh, you're gonna smack me? Okay, cool.
One of my favorite things I like to do as Thistle is, because the wings are so bendable, is that one time it rained really hard at St. Louis, and I was like, well, a ferry's wings aren't going to be just spread out during the rain, and so I put the two lower wings down, and I bent the other two wings like over my shoulders as if they were kind of droopy, but also protecting me from the water.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a really
cheated.
good. It was.
That's a cool look.
It was brilliant, and it worked
is.
really well.
It
It
is.
also looked really good. I was a big fan.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not disparaging what you're saying. I'm just saying you cheated. It's like I cheat with my big hat.
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
The big hat's hilarious to me because everybody's walking around with umbrellas, and I'm like, it works better if you take the stick out.
Yeah. If you move to Kylochen, he is a Scottish merman.
We're gonna go here because I like this photo.
That's him. So
This is actually was this in Texas?
no, that is a photo. Oh wait, let me see. Okay, that photo's in Texas. I was thinking it was one of the Scotland photos.
I don't know why, but that just reminds me like there's the river that runs down there by through Austin.
Oh,
and
no,
I don't know
it is not
why.
that. This photo's taken near Dallas.
Okay.
But I think, let me look at that. Okay, no, I'm wrong. That is one of the Scotland photos. If you go to the next photo in the set, not that one. Yeah, there you go. So these were all taken at Loch Lomond, which is canonically where Kai is from in Scotland.
There's a song about that.
There is.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to. When I made Kai, I made him from Loch Lomond. That was his whole backstory. 'Cause
Right.
They've got to come from some ocean or some lake.
Yeah.
And so he came from Loch Lomond, and I had already visited there when I lived in Scotland. But I was like, it would be so cool to have actual photos of Kai in Loch Lomond,
Yeah.
like for real. And so I went to Europe last year for vacation. But while I was there, I
Might as well do a little work.
I set up a mermaid photo shoot and took photos. So these
Nice.
are actually at Loch Lomond.
That's ridiculous.
All three of those photos that you saw and many others on my page that where I found a photographer who was down for a mermaid shoot, and so we put that together, and it was a wonderful time and some of the best photos I've ever seen. I mean, just gorgeous. It was a beautiful sunny day. It was excellent.
I saw one on your
So was anybody watching you laying out on a rock going, what is this guy doing?
Not too many people, but a few saw it, and
Yeah.
it was a time.
Wasn't there another one inside here? Oh, there we go. I don't know if they can see that. Let's see. No, they can't see that. And I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna go back real quick because I just realized we were talking this entire time. This is the photo that he's talking about.
Yeah.
This is actually
At
in
Loch Lomond.
Scotland, in Loch Lomond.
Yep.
So
These are real photos of Kai at his home loch.
Yep. Dude, I just realized the depth of this photo.
Yeah.
You caught the reflection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just realized
It's
that.
a pretty sweet one.
Yeah,
I mean-
that was pretty. I didn't catch it until a minute ago. I was like, oh wait.
That is gorgeous. Here, let me see if I can zoom in.
Also, y'all talked about the song. I quoted the song right there because I really like that song too.
Yeah,
That's a song that Kai sings quite often at the festivals.
that is a beautiful song. It's one of my favorites. Now, there it is. There it is. This is the one that I like. I like this photo because it just, for me, this captures the whimsy of you as the actor.
Yeah, that's at the Michigan Renaissance Festival. They have a mermaid tank that I've performed in. I'll be there again this year. And it's a good time. It's a fun time being in the water.
Now, if any of our friends are watching from down there in Arizona, this is a man that needs to be in your tank.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Get him in the tank, folks.
Get him in the tank because I like their tank. Their tank is massive.
It's very cool.
Huge.
It is massive.
Huge.
I think the only place I've seen a bigger tank is in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, and that.
Yeah, we walked in there and I was like, holy crap.
It's a cool tank. I've seen
that
their,
dude was-
I've seen their setup. It is very awesome.
Yeah, he was like
I would be
swimming
thrilled
around.
to perform
So,
there.
guys, just if you know somebody down there, hero of mine, reach out to him. He's not cheap, but he's worth it. Oh my goodness, dude. I mean, I'm kind of jealous because I mean, you're as I'm scrolling through this, I mean, you've been doing this for a while,
I have.
and just the history of your photos. Look, I know that lady.
Hey, lady.
Hey, lady. But just scrolling through here and just seeing the amount of content. I know that lady too. That's my fair princess of Ireland. It blows me away how something so simple as a character like Link can draw people in, and your dedication to the craft of portraying that character is just so awesome. Keith
You're
and
very
I.
kind.
Oh no, we speak the truth.
Absolutely.
And Keith and I had to create our own characters because there's no way we're gonna fit a role like Link.
Yeah, no.
He talks too much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, then
yeah. He couldn't be a mime if he tried.
I would be like the world's worst mime.
Oh, look at the elephant, dude.
Oh, back in the good old days.
Yeah. Man. You don't age.
No,
the hell is
he
this
looks
all about?
absolutely
Like
the same.
The same.
Well, it helps that I intersperse photos from many different years and many different
Oh,
spots.
you cheater.
He cheated.
not 100%. Like
Cheated.
There's the
yeah,
photo.
that's as far back as it goes.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, you're a lot better off than we are. All we have is our YouTube and our Facebook.
Yeah. So
And I
did
started
did
a
see,
TikTok.
Thistle was playing the ocarina as well.
Yes.
Okay.
I play.
I thought I
ocarina.
saw that in the picture.
I do. I feel that the ocarina is such a beautiful instrument. It seems like a waste to restrict it to Link, and so I play it for all three of my characters.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, and the good thing is that I mean, you could easily, you know, I'm sure you could find somebody that could make a seashell-looking ocarina.
Yeah.
You know, that would kind of go a little bit into that,
Yeah.
or maybe even a conch. You know,
Right.
But first off, it's an easy instrument to hide.
Yeah.
You can
I mean, it's not very big.
You can see the lanyard. It's right around his neck, you know? I mean, so it's just right there. And then, oh, I think I'm going to play. Boom, you know?
Yeah.
Unlike, you know, I got to carry this stupid damn drum around. Or, you know, I got to break out this violin or this guitar. You know, it's just, in a blink, it's there. I mean, I like the simplicity of the ocarina. I don't know how to do it.
No.
I'll never learn how to do it. My brain can't handle it, dude.
No, I get it.
It's a pretty easy instrument to pick up. I really, really think it's a beautiful one, though, even though it's very simple.
I do like woodwind instruments. I've always been enamored by like the Japanese and Chinese versions of the flutes. And that to me is what the ocarina reminds me of, because some of those notes that you carry are just that low register, and I think it's beautiful. But let's see what else we got here.
Now, does the ocarina, is it just one, or is it like, what was I going to say? Like a harmonica, where it's in different keys.
So ocarinas are chromatic instruments. You can play them depending on how many holes you've got. You can generally get them to play in any key. So like the 12 hole, which is what I play the most, you can play that in any different key that you want, but you have to alter the fingering order in order to get to a different key.
Okay, gotcha.
I've gotten okay at transposing songs over the years to different keys based on what other people play them at, so that I can join them. For example, I normally play in C. That's what my ocarinas are tuned to. That's what most ocarinas are tuned to. But all the songs we play at the beginning of the day at the festival are in D or A, and so, or sometimes in G. And so
usually to accompany the fiddles and the violins.
Exactly. And so I have to transpose all the songs to a different key in order to match them.
Now, you want to know something really interesting?
What's that?
Last season, during the summertime, I'm sitting there in the musician's tent, and there was a musician that was trying to tune an instrument, and Mark goes, "Well, what key do you need?" And legitimately, like, it was Donnie. Donnie was trying to tune his guitar, and he's got his little pitch pipe, and Mark is matching. Like, Mark would blow, and then Donnie was blowing him, and he's like, "Oh, damn, you're really right on." And I'm like, I would have never thought that an instrument like that would be able to have that ability to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't play an instrument. I sing, but I don't play an instrument. So it always amazes me when I find little nuances like that with that. Like, I can't ask Keith, "Hey man, can you give me like a solid G on your drum?"
Yeah.
It's like, boom.
It's hard to do that, yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. But you're not just an actor, though. You're a musician. You do ASL, not a enough to hold a conversation,
Yes.
but not an interpreter.
I like to say I'm ASL friendly.
Okay, I like it.
It's kind of like, I'm not going to go there.
Don't go there.
No. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Moment has passed. But you're also our music director
Yes.
at Colorado Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat because, knowing the guy, it's like, "Hey, man, I want to bring my kid to come play. What's up?"
We know a guy. It's always good to know a guy.
Yeah, it really is. But it's great to know the music director or any of the directors, because putting a face to the name, and also it's, I feel, less intimidating when you're auditioning. What could you share for aspiring musicians to join the festival?
Sure. It's funny because we actually get a surprisingly few number of musicians who do audition for the festival every year. It's usually between 2 and 10 people that audition. And we almost always end up with open spots that we just don't end up filling at the festival. And it's usually just from lack of people auditioning. And so the one thing I can say is that it's not a particularly competitive position to be in. And so you shouldn't worry about, "Oh, well, what if I don't get it?" Because if you can play, you very well might. But in terms of actual audition experience, auditioning for the festival in any capacity, I think, is really easy. It's very laid back and chill. Usually I attend along with Eric, our cast director, and Christy, our entertainment director. The three of us are usually in a room, and we just pass people back and forth, doing either monologues if it's for the street cast, or songs if you're going to be a musician. And my only advice, I guess, is that relax, because it's very, very easy, and we are very not judgmental people when it comes to this thing. We're very friendly.
I mean, I got hired.
Right? I mean, if they hired you, yes. The bar's pretty low.
Really, it's just about knowing a couple Renaissance tunes and having some stage presence, and that's all there really is to it, in my opinion. To be honest, when you're hiring Renaissance musicians at Colorado specifically, we are hiring background music. We're not hiring stage shows. And
Right.
so the need is so much different than when you're talking about someone who's going to perform on stage
On a
in front of
stage.
everybody.
Yeah, no,
And that
that's-
doesn't mean that you can't be performance worthy. We have musicians who easily could and do sometimes have their own stage shows on cast, and I love them dearly, and when they perform in the lanes, it shows.
Yeah.
But if you're a new musician, or if you're an aspiring musician and you're worried about the pressure of that, just know that the pressure is so much less than you think it will be, because you are here to be background music, and that can be a beautiful, wonderful, exciting thing. And maybe start there, see how that goes, and then worry about scaling your stuff up, because for now, that's all you need to worry about, if you're new anyway.
I think that's solid advice.
Yeah.
Because I mean, last year that's kind of where I was at. Was like, okay, I got the character. I'm gonna see how I fit in and how I can play with people. And then this year, this last summer,
Yeah.
oh buddy,
Oh yeah.
thankfully you were there with me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if not, I probably would still be the piece of shit that I was the first year.
Probably. But so going back to the musicians. So I mean, on cast we have like guitar players.
Yep.
We've got
A bazooki player.
A bazooki player. It's kind of a guitar ish. I mean,
Yeah,
same family.
in the same
But,
way that a lute is a guitar.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
A stringed instrument.
All right, string instrument. I'll go with that. Well,
We've got the violins, we've got the solo
fiddlers,
singers.
solo singers, drummers,
But for you,
trumpeters.
if you had like one thing you go, man, I wish somebody who played a blank would walk through the door. What would you like to see?
That's a great question, and not one I've thought about. I'd have told you I wanted a dulcimer player.
But we have one.
But we have one this year.
Yeah.
And so I'm very happy about that. I'd have told you I wanted another violinist, and we got another one this year, and so I'm very happy about that.
and next year you might have more.
Might even have more than that. And so to be honest, I really want more woodwinds.
yeah.
When we do morning jam, which is for those that don't know, at the Colorado Festival, for the first half hour of every day, all the street musicians come together and
Yes.
play a set of songs until about 10:30.
Right.
We call that morning jam.
minus
And,
some of the singers.
even some of the singers are usually there.
Okay.
But we kind of spread them out. Two will usually go outside
Right.
and perform out there. But anyway, all of us are there, and I am the only woodwind on cast right now. And I would desperately love to have another flute, a penny whistle, anything like that on cast. When we had a guest cast performer last Saturday who plays penny whistle.
Oh yeah.
And
Evan's mom.
Yes, Lisa.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And she is a very talented musician, but also there was just something a little more special about the melody line having one more woodwind on it,
Sure.
especially not an ocarina, but like adjacent, a penny whistle playing at the same time. It sounded so good, and it is something I really, really want. Now that I have enough violins, because I have wanted 3 violins for such a long time.
And
we
now you have
them
it.
now. I've wanted 3 guitarists, and now I have it. And so the next thing I want desperately is I want at least one more woodwind.
I mean,
All right, well,
Keith
I
plays
mean-
a mean kazoo.
Yeah, that's not quite the same thing.
Okay. I mean, it's close though. It's a start.
Yeah, well, come audition. We'll
It's a
see.
start. All right. Yeah.
I don't think you're
Yeah. No. So you guys heard it. You guys heard it here first. If you're a woodwind player,
You know what I would love to see?
Audition.
And honestly, I saw somebody playing one. I think they actually bought it at the festival, or maybe it was just it was one of the other, not cast members. That's the wrong word. One of the other Rennies.
okay.
I think it's one of the vendor crews, but they had a Japanese flute, like the big long
Oh,
bastard,
okay.
and I was like, I want to hear you play, but
Yeah.
I don't have time right now, and I would love to hear that because there's just, I don't know, it's part of the character, but it's my whole thing, the whole traveler from the Far East.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy those woodwinds that are from Asia.
They have an amazing sound.
They do. They really do. And it's not like and I'm not disparaging or I'm not putting down, flutists or oboists or anything like that from the West, from Europe, but it's just something different. It's more of a melancholy note. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's calming.
Yeah. And I would really
Tranquil.
I like that one. I don't know. I would love to see that, and specifically because this is something that Keith and I have ran into a couple of times, my first year and then this last year, where, dude, there are so many freaking people that are at our festival at Colorado, and if you have a child or maybe yourself that is like very easily sensory overload. I don't know what it is. My son, he's my 22-year-old son. He's autistic, and he just I would put that music on, and it would just calm him right the hell down, and it would kind of just center him again. So I would think it would be really neat to have somebody like in a little grotto in the festival somewhere, just kind of playing that, and just see how many people like are drawn to that. Like, and just to get zeroed back in and just like, all right, cool, I'm ready, But yeah, wood wins.
Wood wins.
You know what I would like to see? Out there on the streets, an erhu.
Yeah,
it's a Chinese violin.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're really cool. And then, much like yourself, I traveled a lot in my time frame of life. Seoul, Korea. There was when you go to the international airport, there's a lady there, and she plays. I don't even know the name of it. It's an Asian style harp, so it lays flat.
Like a
kota.
sitar?
It's the kota. That's what they call it in Japan. But yeah, it's kind of like a sitar, but it lays flat.
Okay.
It's got more strings than a sitar, but that would be cool to see too. I also think that more music instruments from different regions would be really neat. I'm not talking like steel drums or anything like that. I'm like things that would be appropriate.
We have to be period appropriate.
Somewhat
Close anyway.
I mean, I actually had a guy that was I used to host karaoke, and he was like, dude, I'd love to come and I'll put like a Metallica spin like on Renaissance music. Or I'll play Metallica with a Renaissance spin to it. I'm like, it's been done. I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Well, Gretchen.
Oh yeah,
our guitar player. She does that a lot.
Yeah.
But
that's like some of her sets she actually does in the lanes.
Which I think
gotta do it tastefully and carefully.
Yeah.
It's. I saw the cringe a little bit over there. Like it is. There's a very fine line when you're taking those lines. I mean, even some of the performers that you'll see at other festivals, they do this whole thing where it's like they'll do the Backstreet Boys, and they'll try to tone it down, but I mean, it's still noticeably the Backstreet Boys. But,
yeah.
Anyway, let's do one more shameless plug because you gotta go soon. So this has been our friend Mark. He is the hero of mime. And you can follow him on Instagram. You can also, in that same link, right? I can't point to it. It's over there somewhere. You can see on that site there, Hero of Mime. There we go. bandcamp.com/album/The Sounds of Hyrule. You can order his music, which is appropriately licensed, so that he can get that. It's very important to say that. I mean, like it sounds so comedic, but it's very important to say that because it is one of those things that you get canceled. You
don't think about it.
No, you don't.
I mean,
like most people are just like, oh, it's only 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me doing a cover. Like, no. It's still somebody's IP. Let's not tread on it.
Yeah.
But you can get his music there. And then you can also find him at Colorado Renaissance Festival, St. Louis Renaissance Festival, and Michigan.
And several others, hopefully. I always announce
And coming
new
soon-
festivals on my page. So,
Yeah.
feel free to be on the lookout. I'll always announce when I'm going to be at another fair.
And don't forget to tag him if you're on Instagram and you take photos of him out there.
Yeah.
Tag him, like, dude.
We all like to see our own pictures.
because we never get to take pictures of ourselves.
I know. We have pictures that show up, and I'm like, who took that and why?
Yeah,
Where'd that come from?
Although my favorite so far is the prom picture.
The prom picture was
The
pretty
prom
good.
picture is hilarious.
I'm also on Facebook and on TikTok, so if those are more your stream, feel free to follow me on those. I do a pretty good amount of content on all the platforms. Appreciate your support wherever you so deign to give it.
Absolutely.
Well-
and then you said, so after you leave Colorado, you are going to...
I'll be headed to... So I'm actually headed to St. Louis for one weekend, and then I'll be going to Michigan for their final 2 weekends. Then I will return to St. Louis for their final 3 weekends. So if you're in St. Louis for September 14th and 15th, I will be there that weekend. If you miss me then, I'll be there on the back end.
That's
and
why
I'll
he's
be-
not in Santa Fe.
That's why he's not in Santa
That's
Fe.
correct.
Traitor.
Yes. And that's why I'll be in Michigan the 2 weekends between, so the second to last and the last weekend of September.
All right. Fantastic.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It's
Thank
been
you.
awesome,
Likewise.
I'd love having our friends come on.
dude. I mean, anytime we can, give you a little more, airtime, notoriety, infamy.
Infamy.
Dude, how do we
Well,
do that? How do we
hopefully
keep
my
doing that?
fans will find you guys too, because I'd like to unite the fan bases a little bit.
Absolutely.
Honestly, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we're
yeah.
trying to do is just build a nerd
It's a-
community of lovely people
Yeah.
that are just want to have fun. And who knows, man? Maybe we'll get
Nerds
invited.
just want to have fun.
Work on that.
I will.
Work
All right,
on that.
I got homework.
Yeah, you do. A lot.
That my kazoo audition.
Well,
I'm
friends,
totally going to crash the audition with a
once
kazoo.
again, I'm Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we're the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
And this is Hero of Mime, the one-man fantasy ensemble. It has been a pleasure hanging out with you guys today.
So awesome, dude.
So we will hopefully get the studio finally fixed.
Yeah.
Steve's slacking.
So when you see this episode and then all the other episodes have a different background, that's why.
It's Steve's fault.
We had to get Mark in here before he left. So
Yeah. There's the sites up there. You guys can see that up there. We're going to sit here and chat for just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to say goodbye.
we are going to say goodbye.
Yeah.
I've heard it's hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
I was waiting.
I was also
was
waiting.
waiting.
That was my
I was
dramatic
waiting.
pause. That was my dramatic
I know.
pause.
But I wanted to give you that.
Thank you. I
There
appreciate
you
that.
go. There you go. Now, can you do that with a kazoo?
I'm going to learn that one. Okay, that's going to be my audition song.
Oh my God!
It's hard to say goodbye.
You know what?
Kazoo.
You got to. I don't know. You got to
Just
work.
remember, Keith, anyone can audition, but I make the calls on who gets hired.
I personally think
That's
that
why I've always liked you the best, Mark.
I think it would be hilarious to turn around and crash like a friend's audition,
Right.
and then you just come in there and do like the animal version of the kazoo.
Oh, yeah. Let's get, dude, I'm telling you.
It's not
be
going to
awesome.
work. We're going to get fired.
I'm totally getting fired.
Oh,
Dude, if they haven't fired us by now,
well, hopefully this
it's
one
probably
actually
not
goes
for,
to
it's
air.
not for lack of trying. Like,